In the early hours of January 13, 1963, the streets of Lome were quiet. Togo was barely 3 years old as an independent nation, and yet its future was already hanging by a thread. That morning, gunshots would end the life of a man who believed that true freedom was more than just replacing a foreign flag with a local one. His name was Sylvanus Olympio, and his story remains one of Africa's most sobering lessons about the real cost of independence. Sylvanus Olympio was born in 1902 into a prominent family. Educated in Europe and trained as an economist, he quickly rose through the ranks of the United Africa Company, reaching a senior position, a rare achievement for an African under colonial rule. But Olympio wasn't satisfied with personal success. He saw firsthand how colonial systems extracted wealth, leaving African nations dependent and weak. For him, the path forward was clear. Political and economic liberation had to go hand in hand. During French colonial rule, Olympio became one of the most vocal critics of France's control over Togo. He wasn't interested in half measures or cosmetic reforms. While others were negotiating for limited autonomy, Olympio demanded full sovereignty, control over national resources, and the right for the Togolese people to determine their own destiny. This uncompromising stance made him incredibly popular with the Masazanda, a serious threat to powerful interests. In 1960, Togo finally gained independence, and Sylvanus Olympio became its first president. But achieving independence didn't change his principles one bit. He refused to let Togo become a puppet state. Olympio championed economic self-reliance, worked to reduce dependence on foreign aid, and resisted joining France's monetary and military systems. He envisioned a small, disciplined national army, fearing that a large military would drain precious resources and pose a threat to democracy. Tragically, this very decision would later cost him his life. Olympio's policies angered a wide range of groups: the former colonial powers, local elites who benefited from foreign influence, and demobilized soldiers who felt left out of the new nation. He famously refused to absorb large numbers of ex-French colonial soldiers into the Togolese army, insisting that loyalty to Togonat Francois. For Olympio, leadership meant sacrifice and restraint. He lived modestly, avoided excessive state spending, and believed Africa's future lay in discipline, planning, and dignity. But in a continent rapidly becoming a playground for Cold War politics and military coups, such ideals were dangerously out of place. On January 13, 1963, a group of disgruntled soldiers staged the coup's first successful military coup in sub-Saharan Africa. Sylvanus Olympio was hunted through the streets of Lome. According to witnesses, he sought refuge at the U.S. Embassy, hoping that diplomacy would protect him. It did not. He was dragged out and shot dead just outside the embassy gates. His assassination sent shockwaves across Africa. It wasn't just the death of a man. It was a brutal warning to any leader who dared to challenge external control and internal corruption. They would pay a heavy price. Soon after, Togo fell under military rule, and many of Olympio's dreams: economic independence, democratic stability, and national unity were buried with him. Yet, history has not forgotten Sylvanus Olympio. Today, he stands as a powerful symbol of principled leadership. He was a man who understood that political independence without economic freedom is merely an illusion. His life reminds us that liberation is not a single event, but a continuous struggle, often led by those courageous enough to stand alone. Sylvanus Olympio did not die because he failed. He died because he refused to compromise on Africa's future. And that, perhaps, is the truest mark of a liberator. If you found this story powerful, make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Follow us for more stories of Africa's unsung heroes. Thanks for watching.